As
No,
you
scratch that. Shit!
as you tumble earthwards, a blur of color flashes before your eyes as the crone riders, the skyship, and the distant horizon all melt into a kaleidoscope of shapes and images, which you fear will be the last thing you'll ever see. You have prepared yourself for death and are calm and relaxed when suddenly you feel your body entwined by a mass of sticky fibers. There's a terrific jolt which leaves you breathless and stunned. The impossible is happening. You are no longer falling, but rising.
Okay.
Let me guess. It's the wizard.
A net of clinging strands has caught you like a fly in a web. You rise up into the sky towards the flying ship as quickly as you fell. Three bearded dwarves clad in bright battle jerkins pull you aboard an outrigger that runs the length of the hull. However, there are no time to express your gratitude, for the small skyship is under attack from the Crone Riders.
Okay, would they have... I know they're wizards, but would they have a ballista aboard or something like that?
At the end of the outrigger, a dwarf is engaged in hand-to-hand combat with a snarling Drakar. He is obviously losing. As you rush to his aid, another of the youth warriors land in the center of the craft, on top of the fortified platform. Do you wish to help the dwarf, or to leap from the outrigger onto the platform?
I say we help the dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Drakar is strangling the dwarf. As he catches sight of you, he releases his grip and smashes his mailed fist into the dwarf's face, sending him tumbling into space. You're inflamed by this cold-blooded murder. You draw your weapon and attack.
Yeah. How many pieces would you like to cut this bastard into?
Let's find out.
Roll your die.
6.
Right. Well, you dive into the guy with an enraged yell and cleave into him, sending his blood-soaked spiked gauntlet flying through the air, following the poor, unfortunate dwarf. The warrior in front of you shrieks in agonizing pain, and you follow up the attack. Roll again, my dear.
10.
And then you silence him by cutting him from genitals to the tip of his head.
Or the other way, that sounds more reasonable.
At any rate, he is in much pain and...
No, he is extremely dead, dude.
Yeah, he is like... very... yeah, he's very dead.
The Drakar falls to his knees and makes a horrible rasping noise as he tries in vain to prise open his shattered death mask. Your blow has staved in his helm, and the buckle metal has fractured his skull. Huh. I guess my ending was not canon. You lash out with your foot and kick him from the outrigger, sending him spiraling down to Lake Inrahim to join the dwarf he murdered. But the dwarf is neither dead nor 100 feet below. He hangs by his foot unconscious, snagged in the netting below the outrigger boards. You grab the dwarf's leg and haul him to safety before continuing the fight.
Okay, up you go. And I'm very grateful we at least have a foot and not a beard we can haul him up with.
The platform looks empty. No heads are showing above its armored parapet, but you sense something is wrong. Instinctively, you leap from the outrigger onto the main hull, your weapon poised to strike. Ducking beneath the boom sail, you climb onto the platform in time to witness a desperate struggle. The blonde-haired magician is pinned to the deck, his left arm skewered by a spear. With a staff in his right hand, he's trying to fend off the dismounted crone rider. The Drakar senses your presence. He whirls around and draws a twisted black scimitar from its scabbard.
Okay, murder time again.
Give it here, roll the die.
Oh. 4.
Okay. Well, in that case, you rush the guy and chop into him with a mighty swing that cuts straight through his armor as if it was made of cheese.
Huh.
It is a gruesome sight. He shrieks in pain and stabs out at you, but only manages to graze your side of your cheek with his gauntlet. You lose 2 endurance.
Would be very awesome if we just, forced sword a little further in and spit him in the face. But yeah, we cannot.
Roll the die again, give it here.
5.
Well, the warrior tries to lash out with his sword, but due to the fact that he's kinda chopped up now, that's kinda hard. So instead, he kicks you in the shin. You lose 1 point. You
Oh,
return this by shoving your sword straight down his cake socket.
Oh dear.
That was satisfying.
Nasty.
Here's to you and all your fucking organization of wannabe murderers.
The Drakkar curses you with his dying breath, his cry fading as he falls from the platform. You rush to aid your wounded countrymen, but the battle is not yet over. A crone rider is swooping towards you, a crossbow leveled at your head. He fires and the bolt shoots towards your face. Then a shrill metallic whine rings in your ears as the bolt miraculously ricochets away, deflected by an invisible shield. And you haven't picked up the crystal star pendant in the meantime, so yeah. You see the young magician lower his staff, a trace of a smile on his pain-racked face. Alas, I was too slow to shield myself, he says wryly, as you kneel at his side and free the spear that pins him to the floor. The wound is serious, and you hastily staunch the bleeding with the strips of cloth from his dark blue robes. The wizard then introduces himself. I am Baindon, journey master to the Guild of the Crystal Star, he says, his voice weak and shaky. However, you need not introduce yourself, Lone Wolf, for only you would attract such company this far from home. He glances at the crone rider swooping past with skyship on every side. Help me to my feet. We must escape before they drag us from the sky. You support the wizard as he grasps the ship's helm, a radiant crystal sphere with hundreds of glowing facets set upon a slim silver rod. No sooner has his hand closed around the crystal than there is a tremendous explosion.
Okay. Now what?
The explosion is followed by a huge cloud of smoke, which engulfs a cabin perched on the rear deck. As the noise rumbles across the desolate saw plane, you hear the agonizing shriek of a wounded crone. It spars past the platform, a ragged hole rent in its broken wing.
Huh.
And there's a picture of what I guess, yeah, here's the guy responsible for that. There we go.
Ouch.
Huh.
I think he was afraid of losing his quill.
Yeah, ow.
And that is why he's holding a gun.
Yeah.
At least I assume that's a gun.
But hey, you got an ugly guy on your side now.
Whee! Hooray for
Yeah, I think he has been in a few fights considering his
more
teeth on that.
odysseys.
The smoke clears to reveal the grinning face of a dwarf at the cabin window. A smear of soot blackens his rosy cheeks and exaggerates the whiteness of his crooked teeth. He's holding a tube of smoking steel that you assume to be a magic staff, until you notice that each of the dwarf crew carry identical stakes. As they point them at the swooping crone, gouts of smoke and flame bellows from their tips. Suddenly you recognize the weapons and their wielders. They are dwarves from the mountain kingdom of Bor, armed with one of the inventions for which these ingenious artisans are justly famous throughout Magnamund. The crone are terrified by the noise. They turn their leathery tails and fly away, their Drakkarian riders powerless to stop them. The primitive guns have claimed only one victim, but nevertheless they have driven off the enemy and saved the skyship from disaster.
Yeah, you do not really fuck with a dwarf with a shotgun. Just say.
Good point.
Baindon steers the craft about, banking steeply until the ship faces the darkening peaks of the southern mountains and the distinctly V-shaped cleft of the Dahir Pass. Roll the die.
10.
As you watch the crone riders disappear into the darkening sky, a roll of thunder rumbles across the plain from Barakish. The sound is threatening and full of brooding menace, as if the city itself was cursing your escape. You turn away and focus your attention on Baindon, your unexpected rescuer. The makeshift bandage that binds his wound is soaked with blood and he looks pale and weak. Do you wish to use your healing?
Yes.
Yes.
Clasping your hand around Baindon's injured arm, you concentrate your Kai skill on healing the torn muscle and splintered bone. The warmth of your healing power numbs the pain and repairs the internal damage sufficiently to be able to remove the blood-soaked strip of cloth. The wound is still open, but you have saved the limp. We'll help him now, Lone Wolf, shouts a strained voice. You're surprised by this bold claim and turn around to discover who has made it. Two dwarfs clamber onto the platform and hurry to the young captain's side. One flicks open a red velvet satchel strapped to his barrel-like chest and removes a glass vial and a clean linen bandage. They attend to the wound, and as his strength returns, Baindon listens intently to your account of the terrifying events that led up to this meeting. As you conclude your woeful tale, Baindon speaks, his voice full of grim determination. The future of Summerlon rests in our hands, Lone Wolf. We must stop Lord Darklord Håkon from destroying the Book of the Magnakai. I have heard tell of the tomb of the Marjan from the nomads of the Dry Main. They say it's a terrible place, a place of horror and death. For what little there is left to die there, it lies beyond the Dahir, near the oasis of Bal-Loftan. That is all I know, for the Marjan hid their tombs well, and what few traces remain have long since disappeared beneath the shifting sands of the Dry Main. Your face conveys the disappointment you feel upon hearing those words. However, all is not lost, says Baindon, undaunted. There is a man who can guide us there. His name is Tipasa Idarok. Tipas the Wanderer. It is he we must seek, for he is the only man who has ever entered the tomb of the Marjan and lived to tell the tale.
I see.
Baindon takes over the helm as his extraordinary ship, the Sky Rider, as the dwarves call it, speeds through the gathering darkness towards the Dahir Pass. Visibility diminishes with each passing minute, until finally you can see no further than the outriggers. You feel uneasy. If the Sky Rider wears but a fraction of course, you will be smashed to pieces against the mountainside.
Yeah. Glorious.
Do not worry, Lone Wolf, says Norrim, the dwarf with the velvet satchel. The captain will see us through. Baindon stands with his hand resting lightly on the glowing crystal, relaxed as if in a trance. His eyes are closed and a crackle of energy like fine white lightning traces an intricate pattern over his forehead and temples.
Huh.
The dwarf leads you to the cabin at the rear of the craft, where the crew are excitedly recounting their victory over the Crone Riders. They are seated about a table cluttered with plates of steaming food and jugs of foaming ale. The rich smell of spiced meat and boar brew fills your nostrils, reminding you how ravenously hungry you are. You make short work of the meat and marrow placed before you. Restore 3 endurance points.
Well, I appreciate a good meal. And that brings our total health up to 22 out of 34.
However, you are unsure about accepting a jug of ale. Boar brew is so strong that in many cities of Magnamund it has been banned, for fear of the havoc it can cause. Do you wish to accept a jug of the notorious ale, or would you rather decline the offer?
Well, it would not really be polite seeing as we jumped onto the ship, but then again, we saved them, so I suppose they can forgive us for
Yeah, let's
denying.
not fall off the ship because we get drunk out of our ass.
Yeah.
Well, you know me, I don't drink, so you know what my answer will be.
The dwarves are not offended by your refusal. They have seen men stirred to fury or laid unconscious by a jug of boar brew. Norin grasps the tankard and downs the draught with one awesome gulp, remove the froth from his ginger beard with a practiced flick of his forefingers. Do you wish to ask the dwarves how they came to be under Baindon's command, or would you rather just bid them good night now?
I think we should actually know about that before we turn
Yeah,
in.
let's talk to them a bit.
Okay. You learn that the dwarves were once the crew of a more conventional vessel, a merchantman that sailed the Tentarias of southern Magnamund. The Tentarias is a vast expanse of lakes and landlocked seas, which connects to form a continuous canal stretching nearly 3,000 miles. They were created, as was the Rime Rift of Duranor, by a massive landslide. 3 years ago, the dwarves' former captain, a dwarf named Kuan, lost his ship, cargo and crew while scambling at cards. It seems the unfortunate captain was unaware of Baindon's true profession until it was far too late. As a result, Baindon became the dwarf's captain, and ever since they have adventured with him across the lands and skies of southern Magnamund. The Sky Rider itself was given to Baindon by the magicians of Desi in return for his help in defeating the Gagadoth, A monstrous creature that terrorized the land, over which their own sorcery could not prevail.
Huh.
Okay, can we pause for a minute so I can write some of this stuff down?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, pausing now.